Today we will talk about the 3 main reasons why Honkai Impact 3rd isn't receiving the attention it deserves, and how to fix these issues to attract more players to the game. In case you think I missed any other major issues, I would like to hear your opinion in the comments section below. Honkai Impact 3rd is an action-packed, visually stunning game with a complex story, sometimes way too complex. But it hasn't received as much attention as it deserves, especially on the global market. In my opinion, there are 3 core reasons for this. First of all, and in my opinion the most important one, is the lack of English voice acting. In a game as story-driven as Honkai Impact 3rd, voice acting is crucial for immersion. The lack of English voice acting is a significant barrier to attracting a broader global audience. Many players in the global market prefer to experience games in English to better understand the narrative and feel connected to the characters. Voice acting brings characters to life, adding emotional depth and engagement that text alone cannot provide. While the Chinese and Japanese voice actors are doing a phenomenal job at that, for non-Japanese or non-Chinese speakers, reading subtitles can feel boring and break their immersion in the story, especially during intense gameplay moments, making it harder to remain fully immersed in the story. This can alienate potential players who might otherwise enjoy the game, but are not interested in constantly reading dialogues. The solution for this problem is quite simple. Start adding English voice acting for the upcoming story chapters by specifying a certain version, like version 8.0 for example, as the start version. That would make the game much more accessible to a global audience, and the investment in English voice actors would, in my opinion, pay off well. It will make the story more engaging for English-speaking players and ensure that the dialogue doesn't interrupt the flow of the gameplay. Hoyo vs miHoYo already have experience with that from Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero. So it shouldn't be that hard to implement this change in Honkai Impact 3rd. Now the second reason, in my opinion, is the separation between the CN and global servers. This separation of the CN server from the global server creates a gap in the player base experience. Chinese players receive content updates, events, and new characters earlier than global players, which makes global players feel left behind. This leads to frustration because global players often have to wait for features that are already available on the CN server, which kills all the hype surrounding them. These days, new content spreads quickly across platforms like YouTube and X. Global players see what's available in the CN server and can feel disappointed knowing they will have to wait weeks or even months for that same content. This also hurts the game financially a lot, since global players not only lose all hype and interest in the upcoming characters until they come to the global server, but they are also more willing to save for the character after them if it is a character they like. So this problem hurt both the players and the developers at the same time. To solve this issue, Honkai Impact 3rd developers should work towards synchronizing content between the CN server and the global server. That way, players worldwide would get excited for the same releases, increasing engagement and enjoyment and leading global players to be willing to spend more on the game as well. Now the last reason is the lack of playable male characters. Honkai Impact 3 has arguably the most badass and coolest male characters in all of Hoyo vs MiHoYo games. However, for some reason, Honkai Impact 3 doesn't utilize that to its advantage. Instead, they let these amazing designs disappear into thin air, without letting players enjoy using them and without utilizing them to earn more money from them. Honkai Impact 3 currently focuses only on female characters, which, while appealing to certain demographics, may limit the game's appeal to a wider audience. Many players enjoy having a variety of characters to use in their games. The absence of male playable characters can make the game feel unbalanced and or unappealing to these players who like to use male characters or want a more varied roster. Both Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail offer both female and male characters to use. This variety is part of what attracts a broader audience to Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. The solution to this problem is simple. Honkai Impact 3 should start introducing more male playable characters to broaden the game's appeal. They already have well-designed male characters with distinct abilities and playstyles from Part 1, and they also have some in Part 2 as well. This will allow players to have more choices in how they engage with the game and make more people interested in playing the game. In conclusion, Honkai Impact 3 has a strong foundation with its unique combat system, visually stunning graphics, and deep story. However, addressing these three issues, lack of English voice acting, separation of CN and global servers, and the absence of playable male characters could significantly enhance its appeal to a broader audience. In my opinion, the most important one between them is, as I mentioned before, the lack of English voice acting. Then comes the unification of releases on CN and global servers, and lastly comes the playable male characters. But all three of them are main problems that Honkai Impact 3 is suffering from. This is my opinion about it. If you agree or disagree with me, I would like to hear your opinion in the comments section below, and until next time, see you as always in the next video.